let's first of all, let's go right back to being a kid, and I'm interested to know, hear a bit more about your background and how you got into bike riding, where you grew up, and all that kind of stuff. First off,
Yeah. Just down on the south coast. Place I suppose Hordle was like sort of where I was living first with my parents and stuff, and then my dad was always into motorbikes. He used to work for Rickman's,
oh yeah,
do a bit of welding and stuff, and yeah, so he sort of was. I was always around motorbikes, and sort of he was fanning around with cars and stuff like that. So yeah, just cars and motorbikes, and then obviously because he made the Rickman frames and stuff, he made me my first sort of BMX, as it were, like 16-inch sort of like bike with like triple clamps and everything that looked like a motorbike. It's pretty sick.
what year
Um,
was that then?
uh, I don't know, I would have been like 5 or 6 maybe when I
Right,
had that. So I used to rip around and cause loads of havoc on the around Hordle. So yeah, that's pretty sick.
and where? Sorry, I'm not that clued up on the south coast, but whereabouts is that? Where's that nearest to, like, big town?
um, Probably it's sort of in between Bournemouth and Southampton, I suppose, really.
Okay,
So right near, sort of like directly just up from the Isle of Wight, as it were.
okay,
Bit of water in between, but yeah,
yeah.
just up from there. So
Okay, cool. And and then was at that time, I guess, was just before kind of BMX hit the UK, I imagine.
um, yeah, I mean, yeah, it was it. There was like grifters and sort of the boxers and sort of stuff like that. Strike, I think a striker I had was probably the first rally sort of thing I had.
Yeah,
But that bottom bracket fell out of that when I jumped off curbs and stuff, as you did. And yeah, just upgrading from that, and that's how why my dad made me another bike because something is a bit more indestructible. So yeah,
brilliant.
it's a good little bike.
And did he make any for your mates and stuff that wanted them after seeing yours, or?
Um, I don't think he did, if I remember rightly. It was just for me, but obviously he did do some stuff with Brian Curtis and stuff in the early days as well, welding some of the Curtises and the Rickmans up.
And then did you, like a lot of people, did you start out with BMX racing, or did you go straight into freestyle stuff?
No, just racing, like probably from I don't know, like 10 or 11 maybe. Just racing because we're close to Bournemouth BMX track and Southampton track.
Yeah.
We used to race at them quite a lot. Um, just in the local sort of regionals and sort of like races they had on in general. I got all right. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
Um, got a few trophies and stuff on the podium, and sort of got a bit more into it because I was doing quite well at it.
Yeah.
And that's where the whole sort of Curtis thing come in because we knew Brian. He used to ride for Curtis and stuff in the early days.
Yeah.
Did all the nationals like the NBMXA nationals and stuff. So yeah, we did. Yeah, did all right. I think I was Southwest number 4 or something.
Nice.
Uh, so yeah, rode all right. Yeah.
And what so was your age group like Wayne Llewellyn sort of, or was that your age group?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, like well, I basically didn't really race in that much. Maybe at a couple of nationals I might have done, but they were in a different sort of sector of the country, if you know what I mean. Like the nationals sort of thing didn't. It was a different group, wasn't it?
Yeah, there was UK
Um,
BMX and NBMXA, wasn't there?
yeah.
Yeah.
So I did do a couple of bits of both, but mainly just the sort of southern sort of side of stuff.
Uh-huh.
So I think we did do the Brits and stuff. We went up to like Derby and walked around that track and was like 3 foot tall, like all the dog crap all around the track. But
But
yeah, other than that,
I think Derby was about as pedally as the Nampmar weekend track, wasn't it?
I think it was. It's not great, was it? I think it was soft as well. They'd redone a few bits and like it was literally like pedaling through a bog. I think the first couple of straights, but
Yeah, I know.
horrible.
But it was just too pedally for me.
Yeah, not good. I'm not a super peddler, much like yourself. But
Yeah.
yeah.
And then, so how did you transition into, doing more? more freestyle stuff on the BMX, or did you just always do that, um, on the
Uh,
side while you were racing?
Basically, I I think it was, I don't know if it was Hounslow. I went to a national at Hounslow with a couple of mates. I think it was Andy Pope and Bernard Shell and that lot.
Yeah.
And there was, I'm sure it was Hounslow. Someone probably shout if not, but like they used to have a quarter pipe there. I'm pretty sure it was there. And yeah, I was racing there, and like all the motos sort of come and gone, and I'd missed them because I was riding this quarter pipe all the time. So it sort of, that sort of changed me really. Like that was when I was more into the freestyle side of things. Um, so yeah, it was. Yeah, I just liked it more. I just enjoyed it more. It's just like, yeah, just loved hitting a ramp. Like I was a bit over the racing thing, I suppose.
Uh,
Like it did all right. It got a few good trophies and stuff like that. But yeah, I just enjoyed the whole freestyle thing a bit more really.
cool. And like what sort of age was that when you kind of transitioned over?
Um, Probably I'd say sort of 15, 16 maybe.
Okay.
I just started riding a bit more. I had a couple of friends in Southsea. Mark Likely, I used to go and stay with him, like in the school sort of 6 week school holiday. Basically, used to just basically live at his house for sort of 5 weeks. And we
Yeah.
used to go to Southsea like every day and just ride Southsea like constantly. Ride that the Geall bowl stuff, like 15, 16 foot deep bowl thing. We used to ride that like literally all day, and
Brilliant.
then just go to us and have some hideous microwave pizzas or whatever they were. But yeah, it's but yeah, it was just, I just like that side of things, like finding bits of the concrete with different transitions and the better transitions. I
Yeah.
just yeah, just thought that was cool. I just really like it.
And did you like, to influences at that time? Did you like go to any contests, or were you just looking in the mags like I used to do for the racing and stuff out? Who was you kind of people that influenced you at that time?
Back in the day, so it's the early stuff. It's more the Americans, sort of really, I suppose. I suppose the early ones you got like R.L. Osborne. Who else? Probably like Todd Anderson. Sort of like the early sort of early guys like Dina Duca, Dominguez,
Yeah.
bit Bob Harrow, obviously, who who didn't he sort of influence, but there was so many, and you could see it through like the freestyling mags and that lot. And I mean, there was some good English riders at the time. Obviously, Jamie Bestwick, David Frame, Scott McCarroll, sort of all Peppy Winder, but all the guys and stuff. It was a good scene, like both sides of the pond, really. But yeah, like obviously got into the freestyle thing. Then I rode a few nationals, and like I won quite a few of the nationals one year. And then Peter Hawkins, who used to run the Harrow Skyway team, he got on to me and said, "Oh, look, do you want to ride for Harrow?" And I was like, "Yeah, too bloody right."
Mhm.
So that was 80 late 87.
Okay.
And yeah, we travelled around doing stuff. It was like me, Jace Davis. He was a bit of a cohort. He used to hang about with quite a lot, to be fair. RIPJ, fucking top bloke. But yeah, like we used to ride all the time. He used to go and stay at his. But yeah, I used to just rode all the did demos and stuff with Harrow, rode all the nationals. I think in '88 I won all the British freestyle nationals ramps, and then obviously won the Ties of Worlds in Manchester.
Brilliant.
It was cool. It was that was almost like, I wouldn't say it was a means to an end, but because I won the worlds, I was always trying to find other stuff to sort of try and do.
Yeah.
And my first was definitely motocross, because that was one sort of thing. My sort of dad said to me, he said, "If you want to ride BMX or moto?" And I'm like, "Oh, BMX, dad." It's like, I should have gone the other way. I really, I've always got that motocross thing in the back of my head, like from day dot, really.
Right.
Um, but yeah, the whole freestyle thing was cool. And then obviously won the worlds, 88, 89. I think I was second in Limoges in France.
That's amazing.
So that
What to win the worlds at that time. So that is that on the vert ramp? What was it called? Like that this
The British stuff was on the ramp, so you basically had a ramp and a ramp at the end of a sports hall, and you should pedal the knackers off towards it, and it goes hard as you can, do all your tricks or whatever.
yeah.
The Limoges was the same. That was just ramps. It was almost before the half pipe thing really became a thing. Like the half pipe thing started coming in. I think it was more in America. Probably that would have been sort of 90s, early or late 80s, early 90s. Started like the two hip series and stuff, which they sort of started over there. But then there was the British one over here, and I rode a couple of those. But I was, I wouldn't say I didn't like it because I still loved it.
Yeah.
But I had from about 90 onwards for a couple of years, I had problems with my back,
Right.
and pumping the stuff of vert around, as you can imagine, is not good for your back.
Can't imagine. There's no way I'd do it.
No, but so yeah, I sort of reined it in a bit, and then I, yeah, I got a mountain bike basically. I think that was probably like early. It was a Diamondback, like the smoke color sort of thing, Ascent or something. Ascent
Okay.
was it? A Diamondback Ascent or something?
I
That
had
was
an
when I sort of like
Apex.
left school. So yeah, that would have been sort of when I was 18, 19. So it would have been, yeah, at the end of the time I won the worlds and stuff. So, and I've sort of got into it a bit through that, and then obviously met a few of the guys um, around that road, like Andy Pope had sort of gone to mountain bikes, I think, a bit then, and he was riding BMX still, but had a mountain bike, and Bernie as well.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, it's just, I don't know, you just sort of almost trying to push yourself into other stuff.
Yeah.
And that was just for me like a natural progression getting onto it.
So did
So
you
that's sort of where the mountain bike started, really.
cool and like at that time winning the worlds in BMX, was there any like money in sponsorship then or not really?
Uh, no, I wouldn't say there was. Like, it was more like product expenses. You get taken everywhere, so you wouldn't have to sort of pay anything or anything like that.
Yeah.
But it was a cool time, like
Yeah.
just riding your bike and sort of having fun and not having to pay any money, which was cool. You're getting your expenses and stuff paid for, so it was cool. It was a
Yeah.
good time.
At that age and then becoming world champion at anything is an amazing achievement, like.
Yeah, yeah, oh, definitely for sure. Like, I'm pretty proud of that, really, to be honest. Like, I do. It's not. It's. I don't know. Sometimes I do get a bit disheartened about it because there was a couple. Oh, hang on.
Laptop's gone.
Malfunction there. Yeah, like there was a guy, Chris Potts, who should have been in my group, American guy, and he was pretty good at the time. I caught a lot of like variations and tricks and stuff he was doing, and he was in a different class. For some reason he should have been in my group, but then they put him in pro, I think, or something.
Right.
I was a bit disappointed that he wasn't in my group, but it's still, you got to be in it to win it, and yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
so yeah, it was all good. Like, yeah, it's cool.